KTN Prime begins right now. I'm Jesse Rogers. Joining us on sign language interpretation is Meresha Owiti. To our top story tonight, where the National Youth Service is yet again at the center of a multi-billion court battle over goods allegedly supplied to the youth service. The 6.2 billion shillings feud emanates from the alleged fictitious supply of items, including food, fuel and clothing, to the National Youth Service. And as Ian Keitani reports, controversy is brewing with EACC on the spot for initially verifying payments to businessman Ben Gethi linked companies before making a turnaround and seeking the court's intervention to stop the payments.
10 years after the initial NYS scandal, a fresh legal battle has ensued over payment of 6.2 billion shillings to companies linked to Ben Gethi, raising questions over the authenticity of pending bills across government agencies. The 6.2 billion is said to be money owed to suppliers who delivered food, clothes and fuel to the National Youth Service. The said goods were supplied to the National Youth Service between 2013 and 2016. However, in December 2024, High Court Judge Justice Lucy Njuguna issued interim orders blocking the payment to the supplying companies linked to Ben Gethi after the EACC deemed the claims fictitious and that the deliveries never happened. Despite the courts barring the payment of the 6.2 billion to various companies linked to Ben Gethi, in October 2020, a multi-agency verification report seen by KTN showed the EACC was involved in the inter-agency deliberations that scrutinized the NYS pending bills. The report, signed by EACC's own representative Eva Washika, explicitly recommended the bills be processed, clearing the 5.3 billion, with only 812 million flagged for further investigation. In the documents, EACC says it relied on physical verification of vouchers and loose documents, interviewed NYS suppliers and employees, analyzed data to weed out cases of duplication, and inspected store records to confirm receipt of goods and store control documents to clear the staggering payments. Surprisingly, EACC later on made a turnaround and moved to court to stop payment amounting to 5.3 billion it had declared genuine. The new scandal raises pertinent questions not only over the loss of public funds through fraudulent payments over the years in the National Youth Service, but also the ability of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to undertake its role in the fight against corruption, with the Commission seeking the court's intervention to stop payments it approved after claiming it had done due diligence and verification for the payment of 5.3 billion of the initial 6.2 billion. Gethi, whose net worth is 3 billion shillings, has been linked to different fraud cases over the years. In 2012, in a scheme that displayed a blatant disregard for procedure, Ben Gethi and his business partner Joyce McKenna were accused of altering tender documents from Solamac Technologies with the intention of ripping off an extra 42 million by increasing the quotation from 105 million to 147 million. The duo were fined 8 million shillings by the court for forgery in the tender meant to supply lantern lamps to IEBC. In 2015, Gethi was heavily linked to the infamous multi-billion NYS scandal that led to the resignation of the then-devolution CS Anway Goro. In January 2019, Director of Public Prosecutions directed that Gethi and 10 others be charged with money laundering. However, Gethi in 2021 denied any allegations of fraud against him. Subsequently, trial magistrate Wendy Misheni in October 2023 acquitted Gethi alongside other accused persons on grounds of lack of sufficient evidence, despite the prosecution lining more than 50 witnesses. Ian Keitani for KTN Prime.
We have placed the NYS in the center.
To some sad news now, where 7 people have died and 11